Well, we're gonna do us a little cattle video. It's raining. I don't know if you can see it on in the camera, but this is the first day for calves in the barn. We got it. We had to do it. We've had over 10 inches of rain in the past week to 10 days. It's just been a nightmare. It's been really, really hard on the calves. We were doing really good until Saturday. I was at a wedding. I was gone for 3 days, and Saturday night they had like 2 inches, and we had been doing pretty good. And then once we had that 2 inches that night, it was just a nightmare. We've lost half of our death loss has been in the past couple days. Since then, it's just been that rough. These are the feed panels. These are actually 2-inch square tubing, and that's about 16 inches there. They're just wired up for now. I mean, I don't have any of my gates, any of my overheads. We're just tied up. We had to get cattle in here. This panel is a screw up. We were welding it in the shop, and the guy who was marking messed up, and so like you have a 12.5-inch opening here, 9 there. What happened is he spaced out that we're 2 inches there, so he was going 12.5 from the back side of there and putting a mark, but we're supposed to be. So this panel's a screw up. It's been working fine. The cattle are using it, but I'm not going to waste my sheet steel on the bottom of it because I don't want 4 nice panels and then one that's all screwy. This was our pattern. This is the original one we built out of 1.5-inch square tubing. They were all going to be out of this, but the place we ordered the steel from screwed up and sent all 1.5 or 2-inch instead of 1.5. So we got 2-inch for actually the same price as the 1.5. So, you know, that actually worked out really well for us. But, so that's what the feed lane is going to look like. You can see right there, it's been raining. We'll get in here and kind of, we have our syrup tank goes here. It's full of liquid feed. These cattle love it. There's our water tank. Got a little dust in it. Those cattle rode in some rain yesterday, so I got a little bit of snot in that one's nose. But, you know, they're not in the rain. And what we'll do is we'll come in here and we'll spread straw over all this ground. But I mean, we barely got concrete and stuff picked up yesterday, so I wanted this thing to be finished before we put cattle in it, but that just was not an option. You know, it's close enough, it's usable. We just don't have a choice. We got to get cattle under it. So, you know, that's where that one's at. Yeah, you got a little booger, bud. Okay. These calves here were all given Draxxin by the guy who was buying them for me. He's got a little set of pins and he brings them up. And so he's actually giving them a shot of Draxxin as soon as he's buying them. And it's been working very, very well instead of waiting. Here talking, these calves are getting out the barn. I better make this video quick. You'll see a little bit of moisture here. We don't have it sealed up yet back there, so the water will run to the edge of the tin and it will come back in. That'll all get sealed up, but for the most part, I mean, that's where it's at. 2 3/8. I decided not to build a fence, just use this stuff. Saw that Ted had used clips like this, so I bought some. Worked really good. There's actually a local place that sells them. Hey, bud. We'll come to your side of the pen. Water tank works great. The calves don't have a problem with it. This is an adjustable bar here, so if I have to put like heifers in here, I can. Red heifers. I actually built this in the way I built it is we used to always calve heifers out, and we still do. Is just the past well, we did last year, but usually calve heifers out every year. Probably won't this year. I haven't retained any heifers in the past couple years just because of the market, but with probably here pretty soon we'll start saving heifers again. And I wanted it where if I didn't have calves here, this barn was multi-purpose for the ranch. The panel openings are big enough for cows that don't have horns. As you can see, we can feed hay inside the barn. And we get enough blizzards roll through here. We get them every year. I wanted to be able to put, cows in here if I had to. And I want this to be as functional as it can be. And we got a little dirt in there. But with this thing having a drain in it, we can clean it out. And it didn't take long to fill it up. I don't have electricity in here yet. I honestly would like to have some lights in here. But this has a valve in it, so you can crack it and you won't freeze up your float. But this one probably really needs a heater. Yeah, it's nice and dry back in here, and we'll get enough straw back in here that this stuff won't become a problem. But I'd say this calf needs to be pulled tomorrow. It just got in last night. We'll let it rest up. And are you sleeping? Yeah, you kind of dozing off. You got them big ol' eyes. But so that's what's going on. We just needed to get cattle in it. You gonna get up, bud? Come on. Oh yeah, you're stretching. You were just sleeping. But and you can see, come outside, mud hole. And that's what we're trying to avoid. With the sheer falling down. With the sheer amount of money that we spend on cattle every year, if we can cut our death loss in half, we could probably pay for this entire thing in a year. All the new feed plans, everything. I was kind of concerned about these being too wide, but I think they're just about perfect. These calves have some ration. I just wanted to try it and see. They ate their corn, but these calves down here doing good. Even through the slots that are too small, they're getting their heads through. But I've been buying some real little dinky calves, and so I'm just going to use that pan. I'm going to build my own little pen for them and just use that panel there for them. And that way, it's not going to go to waste. But we saved a tremendous amount of money building these panels ourselves. A tremendous amount. And I think it looks really good. Got to cut our post and all that stuff off, but we haven't had the time. So this is the barn, and You know, I think it might actually work. It's looking good now. I'm happy with it so far. That calf's got a limp on him. I think he slipped in the mud and pulled his shoulder or something. He's gotten a pretty big limp to him, but the back to the barn, the biggest thing is just getting our death loss down, because we do buy high risk calves. I mean, it's just like this calf here. You can see how thin he is. I mean, he was cheap, and if we can buy cheap calves and keep them alive, we'll actually make some money. That calf didn't come in looking like this. That's what happens when you bring calves in here that aren't acclimatized to our weather and have rain just poured on them. For this calf probably had, that calf came in Wednesday of last week, so that calf has been here a week, and that's just kind of what has happened with the rain. It's just been extremely hard on everything. So I'm actually going to go put out wheat straw in some pens with some other calves, because those pens are just absolutely flooded. So we'll end it there.